Hi guys and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 23. It is now time for round 16 of our career mode. It is time for the Australian GP of Phillip Island. As you can see on screen, qualifying didn't quite go as planned. We were in the wet situations and unfortunately I was 4/10 away from getting into Q2. So we will start today's video from 18th place on the grid. So here we go then guys, we wait for the red lights to go out. Dry session though, so this is a good thing because qualifying in the wet didn't go as planned. We wait for the red lights to go out, they are now out, and look at that, that's actually a decent start for once. My goodness, usually every single time we have a start, it is absolutely dreadful, but that is quite decent. And now as we go up at the inside, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, all the way up. Oh my goodness, what happened to Brad Binder there in the distance? What on earth was that? He just collapsed. He went really deep into the to the first corner there and then just threw himself off his RC16. Very bizarre as we made a bit of contact with Fabio Quattro. I just noticed that Fabio's rear light is also... Oh, mine is also on as well as we go into the left-hand side. I do know they go slow here as they did in Moto 2, so I'm going to try and get back on through as many riders as we can to get into the podium positions for today's sprint. What a start here in Phillip Island. 18th to 3rd in about 6 corners. Not too bad, if I do say so myself, as Maverick Vinales and Pecco Bagnaia both went very deep for that left-hander there, and again into the right-hander for turn 8, they're both going deep. Oh wow, into the left-hand side. I was trying to figure out where Maverick Vinales was going to go. They look quite deep, and we've taken over 2nd place now. Can we do the whole grid in 1 lap? Could it be? I very much look forward to the rest of this sprint session. So onto the power, and then onto the left-hand side for turn 11. Keep it in nice and tight and bring it in to the left-hand side. It's a corner I'm not too confident in with turn 12. It's one of those ones I can't decide whether I downshift to 3rd. Do I stay in 4th? Do I use a little bit of front brake just to reduce the understeer? Or do we just go for it? Look at the speed of Marc Marquez. Beautifully done though. Onto the brakes, fending off against the 8 times world champion and the Moto3 world champion in 2012, I think. No, 2013, apologies. 2012 was Sandro Cortese, if I'm not mistaken. As we now dive into the left-hand side, there is Maverick Vinales behind us. 1/10 of a second separates us, diving into the Stoner corner. Close again, but no cigar for Maverick as he tries to go for a lunge. And now we go into the right-hander for the Miller corner, formerly known as the Honda corner, of course, turn 4, as we now exit with a bit of speed. So, onto the brakes we go into Siberia corner. We have a small advantage now to Maverick, but we can say, oh my lord, Pecco Bagnaia, I was just about to comment that he was incredibly deep there and onto the grass. He's foul, he's gone, he's fouled, he's made a massive mistake. What a fumble from the soon to be 4 times MotoGP world champion, or 3 times MotoGP world champion, but 4 times champion in total. Very impressive there for Pecco, but yeah, scary moment for the number 1, and he is now out of this MotoGP sprint. The Australian GP offers us a chance of taking the perfect 12 points. That is crucial for our objective. The objective for this weekend is to defeat Jack Miller and take over the hopefully the interest of KTM. I think that's what we're alluding to with beating Jack Miller, because all I've been doing is facing off against the KTMs, and so far I think we delivered. Oh, I can go deep into the southern loop though. Maverick probably will squeeze on through, and there he goes. Here comes the RSGP. Can we fight back against the number 12? I don't see why not as we go into the left-hand side. The AI is a bit sluggish here. Bit of contact. Argy-bargy going into the left-hand side there. Give him the big don't argue. Oh, beautiful. So, of course, the beauty of this sprint session means that we don't need to concern ourselves with the fuel. But I do know there's a few parts here in this circuit where you're probably better off using power steering too. So I'm just trying to bear that in mind. But for now, I might just go for it. Stay in the rhythm and the groove of what we're using with the 3rd power option and just focus on doing that. So hopefully we can fend off against Maverick. There's a couple of parts of this circuit where we're obviously clearly stronger, and then in turn Maverick is much faster than us in a few of the corners as well. So out of turn 10, I'm still unsure whether I want to downshift to 1st gear or not. I can read the comments already. People are saying don't downshift to 1st into the MG corner, and you might be right, but for now habit has been made and I'm going to stick to what feels right during this sprint. So on the power, can we hold on to the lead across the line? You've seen the 47 on the pit lane pit board. And you can see that this gap is so close. There he comes, Maverick up on the inside for the doing corner. Beautifully done. I downshifted too many times there by mistake, and now Maverick has the advantage. Bear in mind, a second place, third place podium finish here in Phillip Island is going to be amazing. I like Phillip Island. I don't feel very good at this track. I feel relatively decent, but I don't think it's one of my strongest. I think I don't feel really fast in Phillip Island since Ride 4, maybe. The last time I think we used the Katana, which was a DLC bike from many moons ago. And unfortunately, wow, I don't know where this pace has come from Maverick Vinales, but he is flying. And I tell you who else is flying right now is the man who's going to get no World Championship points as Vinales did the same, or almost the same thing as what Pecco did. But Pecco is the fastest man on the circuit with a 1:26.437, around 0.5 of a second quicker than the man on screen right now. Currently looking at a very different top 8 as well. Maverick leading. It wouldn't be the first sprint victory for Maverick this season, of course. I think he last won a sprint in Kota. I do believe I came up short against the number 12 there. And of course for Bastianini in third, myself in second. I guess we're getting quite used to seeing the pair of us fighting for the victories in these sprint sessions. So, this is looking bleak now, actually. 0.8 of a second behind Maverick, and he's just set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. It's a 1:26.3 coming in for number 12 on the RSGP. We're down in second with a 1:27.2, so that is a significantly different lap time there. Almost a second advantage for Maverick ahead of us. So I think it's now, yeah, this is it. We do or die for the podium now, because Enea Bastianini, he's closing in. Don't forget, guys and gals, this gas is not upgraded very much, and this is the 120% difficulty AI, so this is a challenge, and I don't know if we're going to hold on to this position. Maverick has clearly been the favourite of the Aprilias this season. I can't say we've seen much of Aleix. In those races where we've had bad results, I've seen him there. No, not a knock on the number 41, but I've really not seen much of him this season. Surprising, really, because he's been so competitive in real modern MotoGP. Quick look behind us. I don't see Jack Miller, which is a good sign, so hopefully we can replicate this in the full featured race to ensure that we don't lose that objective. I've only lost the objective a couple of times this season in MotoGP, and I don't want to lose it again. It is quite demoralising, but I tell you what isn't demoralising is the fact that we are actually setting about the same as the lap time earlier on. Yeah, it's not great, but it's not bad either. So across the line, we will lose about 1/10 of a second compared to the lap earlier, but it's still a 1:27.1. It's not the pace of Maverick, but it should be good enough to hold back the beast. And that is easier said than done. One of the most hard-charging riders within MotoGP, and in fact within MotoGP 23 as well. His neural AI is certainly working in Bastianini's favour. This was clearly a Bastianini fan in Milestone, no doubt. So onto the brakes, we go into the corner formerly known as Honda. That's a bit deep. Dropped all the way down to first gear to try and get that oomph out the corner, but I still don't know if that's right. I'm going to have to tweak it after this one. I just want to ride the same way. I don't want to start taking chances midst of battle, because I just don't think it's a wise choice. But we are still very much on it. Good, consistent pace coming in here. I don't actually know what my potential is with a good bike, but I'll take it for now. I think it's good enough. We've got a green flag out, so someone's gone down behind us, but we don't know who that is. So I guess it doesn't really affect the impact at the front. Downshifting to first again, and now into the left-hand side, underneath the DHL banner and sign. Again, it's going to be another consistent lap time, though. This is paramount. We have a MotoGP Cup coming up very, very soon, and if I'm not mistaken, the RNG that we used picked Phillip Island as one of the circuits, so I guess I'm going to have to get to that one and start practicing. But there it is across the line, another 1:27.1, and this is the final lap of today's MotoGP sprint here in the Australian GP. So what can we do on this final exchange? Maverick's doing that weird animation where he looks behind him. Clearly he's not phased at the front. He's going to take his first victory since Kota. And Enea Bastianini, he broke my heart in Mandalika. Is he about to do it again? And coincidentally, he broke the hearts of Oliveira, and he's going to do that again. Marquez, who was fighting right up in there in the middle as well, has disappeared. I don't know where the number 93 has gone. But the 8 times world champion will be disappointed with the result here in Phillip Island. I tell you else who would be really annoyed at this one. Alex Rins. He's nowhere to be seen. And where's Taka Nakagami? Will he get a point? I don't think he will. And Pecco, who crashed earlier, is now up to 8th. He's going to acquire 2 points after this one. This one looked like a disaster for the world champion. And there he is, sitting pretty, right behind the Prima Pramac Ducati. Unbelievable. The man is a real-life cheat code. So, into turning... Oh, it's very tight to the apex. That's cost us time. That has cost us a lot of time. Where is the beast? Don't tell me he's going to do me again. No, we're not having that. Stay tight to the apex as possible. Here he comes. He's going around the outside. No, I'm not like this. Oh, he's done me. I haven't got the speed on the straights. For goodness sake. I blew it. I absolutely blew it. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I blew it. So Maverick takes the 12 points here in today's sprint. And Bastianini did in fact get the better of me and he finished in 2nd. And Pecco Bagnaia still acquired 8th place, as we mentioned earlier, as we acquired 3rd position. Quick look to see if Taka would have had a point. He wouldn't have done. And Brad Binder, who crashed at the beginning, was 42 seconds behind. Let's have a look at the championship standings then before we get ready to commence battle again. 18 points behind Zarco. And quite a bit more, 34 points behind Bezzecchi. There's still definitely a chance of fighting for 3rd place in the championship. So a quick sip of the beverage and prepare yourself for 14 laps of Phillip Island. Wait for the red lights and away we go. Oh, that was a late release on the lights there, and we're actually struggling. This has not gone as well as it did in the sprint. Can we at least muster up a good start up at the inside of not 1, not 2? I can't count. There's a lot of riders there to pass. We got through on a lot of them. Someone felt the brunt of us, and there is Jack Miller. I need to finish ahead of the number 43. Oh, it's like Alex Marquez sliding out of contention. Marquez, he was aggressive there, but thankfully we survived that particular bout of carnage as we now close our eyes and brake as late as we possibly dare. Bit of contact, it's not clean. Never said it would be. But we got through and we're up into 5th place. Jack Miller would have been very impressed to see this particular RC16 go through so effortlessly, as he'll try and replicate what we've just done probably very soon. So, from 18th on the grid up to 5th place already. I can't. I'm trying to go around the outside of Binder. I can't figure out a way. Getting difficult to position ourselves ahead of the number 33. Can we go here into the MG corner? Close. Oh, he's still got it. Bit of contact. Desperate to get through though. I need to get through sooner rather than later because the 3 Ducatis ahead of us are going to be some tough competition. Bagnaia, Bastianini, Bezzecchi. Look at Vinales sliding over the inside, scything his way through. No problem for the sprint winner. Now it's time for us to hopefully get the better of the both of them. Beautiful start nonetheless. Up into 4th place here in Phillip Island. Good start. Hard front, medium rear combination should last us the duration of this Grand Prix. The game did recommend going for a double hard combination, but I will confess, I don't like the hard rear. The hard rear just didn't feel good to me. I tried it in the practice when it was dry, and I just couldn't get on with it, so we'll see what happens from here onwards. Oh, that's a weird animation. It didn't look like I hit Fabio that hard, but apparently we did, as we now go for the audacious tight apex with Miller corner. Didn't quite work out, but we have closed the gap onto the number 72. Very tight to the apex for Siberia, but we don't get the exit speed, do we? Yeah, that was evident in the sprint, and it's evident here. It was also evident in the qualifying. I was just losing time hand over fist from turn 7 to turn 9. But we have retaliated quite well here. Is a podium on offer? Bastianini and Bagnaia are at it again at the front. EB versus FB as we now go hard on the brakes for turn 10. Quick downshift to first, back up into 2nd, into the left-hand side, underneath the DHL sign. Closing in, but not close enough yet. This will conclude lap number 2, and I think we might have a good chance of taking the fast lap of the race here. I'm going to use Power Steering 3 coming out of the corner. A bit early there, actually, we got some wheel spin. But hopefully, we should get the faster lap. Not quite, actually, that's a disappointing lap time. I thought we'd be right there. Raul Fernandez up here with a 1:26.5. Good job to the RNF Aprilia. Fair play to the number 25. And of course, fair play to anyone who has hit the subscribe button by now. Thanks for watching, and I do hope you're enjoying the content. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe because you'll be inundated with lots of motorcycle gaming content right here on this very channel. But out of the Stoner corner and late on the brakes. Closing in quite rapidly to Bez, but it's not enough to get through. This is going to be a tough battle. I can feel it already that this is going to be an exhausting one. 10 more laps to go. Well, 12 more laps really. That's a lot of laps to ride on the ragged edge. There's one thing I've learned a lot from doing 50% races in this MotoGP career mode is that it is challenging to stay focused and have your reactions laser sharp for the entirety of such a long Grand Prix. Goodness me, how you can do the full length races, that's going to be very difficult. I guess that's something I have to look into doing in the future. But for the time being, we've got to stay with them. We've got to stay with them. We can't conserve our tyres too much here because it'll be too late. I can't afford to lose the slipstream and I can't afford to make any dramatic mistakes. So out to the left-hander. This time I didn't go to power setting 3 and it was much better. A 126.6 coming in for the Moto 2 and Moto 3 champion in this year's game. Into the left-hand side through the southern loop corner. I'm trying to stick with Bez, but at the same time, he looks to be getting the hurry on here. You can see Bagnaia getting away, and of course, their relationship is always the trash talking and trying to one-up each other. Virtual Bez is going to try and better virtual Bagnaia, it seems. So I'm definitely keen to see what's going to happen here, but we are closing in. Every time we go into the Miller corner, we feint like we're going to get really close, and we do, but then coming into Siberia, coming out of this corner here is where we lose time. So we've got to figure it out, and we're running out of time to figure it out because the more laps we do, the more tyre wear we're going to introduce to the rear tyre. It's going to get harder and harder. And of course, with the AI, the 120% difficulty AI do not suffer fuel loss or tyre degradation. So it's something that we've got to be very careful of here. But we are closing in all the time. Do I go up to power setting 3? I'm a bit nervous though because I don't like the lack of fuel we've already got. Might have to drop down to power setting 1 later on, and that's a death sentence. It's not going to go well if we do consider that option. Out of the final corner and across the line. Are they going to set faster lap times? They aren't, but I was a tenth slower. Just shows you the limit I'm on to try and fight with these guys. Bastianini and Pecco are exchanging once again. The 23 has begat the number 1, but for how much longer? Who is going to win that particular bout? Bastianini is still ahead, but Bagnaia is certainly not giving up. And I tell you what, something I'm a bit surprised at is that Fabio Quartararo has not let up. Probably one of Fabio's best races this season, as a matter of fact. That was really tight to the apex. I thought I was going to touch the grass. And honestly, if I touch the grass there, it's probably going to be game over. So I need to be careful here. Got to stay focused and got to stay with it. This is what I mentioned earlier. Doing all these lap times consistently is not easy. And neither is the commentary to keep it very entertaining for 14 laps straight. Add a few more for the sprint as well. So into the left-hand side. This is the iconic Lukey height. Down into the bottom part into turn 10. Deep. That's lost us time. That has lost us time. Got to stay with it. I'm on the limit here, guys. I really can't bridge this gap to Bastianini, Pecco and Bezzecchi. The trio of Italians at the front, the triage, are just getting away. We've got to go for it. We've got to try and keep up with them. A triumvirate trio ahead of us. Fabio behind us. He's still not let up. He's still right there. But that's a third lap in a row now that we've actually gone backwards. Not by much. Nothing to panic by, but it's a couple of tenths here and there. And of course that will make a difference as Fabio has found his way through into the southern loop. Okay then, Fabio. If you want to go for it, you can do, but you're going to hold me up here, I know it for a fact. So, sorry mate, I need to get back on through. I need to regain the position, and I need to fight back against number 72. Even after that exchange with Fabio, we're actually quicker into the Miller corner. Probably needed that boost to stay with the riders ahead. Good to see the rest of the KTM still fighting for decent points here in Phillip Island. At the same time, I'm a bit conflicted with that, actually, because Jack Miller's still not far away. So if I do make a mistake, he could end up getting through. It's a lot of pressure to beat Jack here in this one. I need a good team next season. And if I can go to the factory KTM team, then wow, I'd be very happy. Anything they provide is going to be miles better than the Gas. No disrespect, I love the Tech 3 factory team, but the Gas in this game is criminally underpowered. And considering how hard our start of the season was, we gained no points, we gained no advantage, so it was just extremely difficult. As we now get a small wheelie coming out of the final corner. This is going to be a bad lap time. It's a 1:27 flat. The lap times are dwindling. They're getting slower. I do think that if we stayed at the 1:26s, well, 1:27.6s or 1:26.6s, apologies, we probably could have stayed with Bez. And there goes Fabio again. I think we've met our match. I don't think I can bridge that gap. Bez, Bastianini, Bagnaia, they're just on another level. Something I can't contend with. As we make a small amount of contact with Fabio, we wait for him to go on the brakes and we say, hey, look how late I can go. Oh no, that's too late. Is Fabio going to be on the inside? Oh, thankfully we're alright. We do stay very much on it as we go into Siberia. This lap time and this race is going fast very quickly. We're already almost up to 50% race distance. This is flying by. And I gotta say that medium rear was a good choice so far. Still plenty of life left in it. I'm not a very aggressive rider either, so I don't think I'm really going to be burning up the tyres too much. Any softer, and I think, yeah, it would have been a bit too detrimental. That's deep into turn 10. Oh, we were on such a good lap then as well. We were actually looking at improving the lap time for the first time since the third lap. That has now gone out the window, and I think that nullifies any attempt of us getting onto the podium. But what an effort. Look at that wheelie. Firing out the final corner. There is the championship standings. We're looking at 11 points, but if we can just get a few more, there you go. 13 points for us. That puts us closer to beating the Frenchman, Johan Zarco. And that's where I want to be. I want to keep on moving up the ladder. Get up to third place. That's the maximum we can do. I would be very, very thrilled. And Fabio, what are you doing, mate? That's really cocky to assume that you can have a good look behind you. Goodness me, we lost a lot of time for touching that curb. We lost an exponential amount of time for touching that curb then. And Fabio went extremely slow there. Can we get him into the Siberia corner? I'm trying to turn to the left here, but I can't get it. Into the left-hand side. Fabio, he's going to have the speed, isn't he, on the exit? Even the Yamaha outdrags me out of the corners. Lord almighty. Deary me, Fabio, he's on the limit here. He's riding really well. And now into the left-hand side, it's going to be a bit of contact. Ooh, just avoided it narrowly. And Brinder and Miller are coming. I've got to be careful here. I can't get caught up trying to catch up to the front runners when we're making mistakes here. This is going to be a bad lap time as well. This is going to be well into the 1:23.4s. Keep it together. We don't need to panic. We've still got plenty of time. There's a smidge of fuel for the last lap as well. So let's just try and stay with Fabio. 4th place, 5th place. Still very good. But let's try and stay with him. It was a bad lap time. It was 1:27.3. Each lap just getting slower and slower for us. Not usually my style, this. It's a lack of consistency coming in here. Just dropping backwards. Possibly due to the tyre wear, but it doesn't look that bad, and it doesn't feel that bad either. The tyres still feel relatively good. Can we get Fabio coming out of the left-hander here? Out of the Stoner corner. We wait for it, wait for Fabio to brake, and then absolutely lunge it. It's a send, it's full send. It was signed, sealed, and delivered. Oh, and Fabio tries to get back through, and he's done it. Goodness me. That was a first-class postage stamp send, that was. Didn't even go to draft, it went straight to it. And Fabio did respond, unfortunately, but we're still with him, and that's what matters the most. Let's see if we can contend with the Frenchman. There's another Frenchman not far behind as well, in the form of the Phillip Island Grand Prix winner in 2023, Johan Zarco. But I can't get back through on Fabio. He's playing this exceptionally well on the factory Yamaha, and I think he's beginning to pull away. I'm really trying here to stay with him. I guess that's the difference with losing Power Steering 3. I was able to do that for fun in the sprint, but not anymore, it seems. Or were we? I don't really remember now. A lot of time's passed already now, so I've forgotten. And across the line, it is a improvement, so we've stopped the bleeding. But is it enough to get me some momentum to catch up to Fabio? Bezzecchi has now been dropped as well. He can't contend with the pace at the front. The Ducati duo, the Lenovo Ducati team, are just head and shoulders above the rest of competition. They're unbelievable. Absolutely terrific, aren't they? They cannot be stopped, and they will not be stopped as we get very tight to the apex into Stoner Corner. Calm down. Just hold it steady. Close back in on Fabio. Coming out to the right hand of the Delta shows green. That's a good sign. Into Siberia. We've gone deep. Dropped it down to first gear there, hoping to get some power. Didn't really work. I think we've lost Fabio now. I don't think I can keep up with him. This has been a very tough race, ladies and gentlemen. Very tough indeed. I mean, on the limit. But the difference in being on the limit in Portimao and being dead last, being on the limit in Silverstone in the wet and being embarrassed. Oh, I tell you what, power steering. Second gear out of that corner worked really well, actually, or at least it felt better. It felt a bit sluggish, but it looked like on the Delta that we actually closed in. I'll have to bear that in mind for the next lap. Maybe I still stick with dropping down to first, or maybe I'd swap over to second gear, who knows. But across the line, we're back into the 126s. The momentum is back. We needed that. We need to stay with Fabio. Look how out of shape we're going into turn one. We're on the limit. Just wobbling and weaving our way into the Doohan corner. And then onto the hard, fat part of the tyre into the left-hand side for the southern loop. Really trying our best here. Something I didn't acknowledge. Brad Binder is closing in. He's now 0.6 of a second behind us as we go into the Melbourne loop. Excuse me, that's incorrect. It is not the Melbourne loop, because that's in Donington, but this is the Miller corner. Very tight to the apex, and we are closing in on Fabio. I'm using a lot more tyre now, though. Look at the medium rear. Still good, though, considering it's this stage of the race. Tyre wear is not really a concern of ours. Not bad at all. So onto the right-hand side. Fabio is not getting away. There's a higher chance here that we can steal back fourth for the 13 points. It's a 2-point swing, ladies and gentlemen. 2 points might not seem a lot now, but towards the end of the season, when every single point matters, that could help our chance of finishing in the tertiary position on the leaderboard. So Fabio was strong now to the left-hand side, even had time to look behind him, the cocky bugger. And now onto the power. We're losing a bit of time on this lap, but we still closed in on Fabio nonetheless. Across the line, back into the 127s. Only lost a 10th compared to the previous exchange. Now onto the right. We have 2.5 laps here to get the job done. Well, almost 3 laps, let's say. Can we steal that fourth place? He seems to be getting quicker. He's so strong into the southern loop. I guess you would understand that from the Yamaha. Of course you would. But I'll go late on the brakes here into the Miller corner. I'm going to go as late as we possibly dare again. Squeezing through. Come on. Give it a bit of power. I need something. Yes, we're through. Fourth place has been regained here in the later stages of Phillip Island. Well, it was brief. Fabio got through again, but to the right-hand side. Fabio will no doubt go slow. We can take advantage. Oh, there's going to be a lot of red on that YZR M1. Goodness me, that's really wide there for that contact. But Fabio is still holding his own to fourth. You'd think this was for the race lead. So close to the apex there. You've got to be careful going into that right-hander. Now onto the left-hand side. Can we attack the number 20? Do we save power setting 3 for the final lap, or do we use a bit now? I'm not sure, you know. I don't think we will need it yet. Still thinking about it, but let's save it for later. Penultimate lap or final lap, as Pecco Bagnaia now has the lead here in Phillip Island. Terrific race here going on in the Phillip Island. Oh my goodness, the Australian GP rather, and Zarco is a 126.4 on lap 12 of 14. Johan Zarco is close behind us. Binder is now less than 0.2 of a second behind us. Fabio's getting away from us again. Do I dare go for the lunge? You bet I will. Late as you possibly dare again. Up on the inside. Thank you very much. I've got the 13 points, thank you Fabio. It's now time to defend. So, we did actually claw back 7/10 on that part alone to regain the position of Fabio, but he will have the outside line. It's the Yamaha's superior corner speed. Oh, Lord almighty, it's so close. The pair of us are just exchanging pace every single lap. Binder's charge might have been halted prematurely due to the fight between us. And Zarco is now up to 7th. What a race this has been. I am exhausted. Every single lap being relatively consistent to the others. I don't think we've deviated no more than a second. 9/10 of a second we've deviated by. That's a good effort if I do say so myself. So then, out of the final corner, there is the championship standings. Here comes Fabio. He's fast on that Yamaha. Here comes Binder. He's not wanting to do the same into turn 1 again, is he? Oh, Fabio touched the rear tyre. Usually that means you go down, but thankfully we stayed on board. Fabio carried a lot of speed into turn 2. There is Binder's touching my rear tyre. Oh, I thought that was it for sure. Come on. We've got to catch up the number 20 here. Binder, please don't halt my progression now. I've worked so hard to fight with Fabio. I'm going to go for the lunge again. It's going to be late. It's going to be daring. It's going to be audacious. I don't think I've stopped him though. Oh, we have. Beautiful. Absolute overtaking masterclass into the 4th corner here in Phillip Island. But look at that beauty. Fabio has picked my pockets. The wallet was in the left-hand side pocket and it's gone now as well. Oh, my Lord. Touching the apex there was disastrous. Fabio, has he got the inside line? You bet he hasn't. You'd think this is a race for the victory. I'm going to have to go for it. MG corner. It's fast approaching. We're going for the lunge. Oh, it's late. I don't think I'm going to get him stopped. Bit of contact. No. I can't get him if he goes through here. We don't have the speed. Ooh. I thought I was going to hit him then. I'm going to have to dive. We're going to have to lunge. I can't get through. I've not got him. I haven't got him. I've been beaten by the Frenchman. Zarco's close to picking my pockets as well, but across the line, what an effort for just 2 additional points. What a race. Oh, man. Oh, me and Fabio set the exact same lap time as well with a 1:26.601. Pecco, he's astounding. He's won again. Bastianini 2nd, Bezzecchi 3rd. They were on another level. We couldn't compete today. What an effort, though. I am exhausted. But the telling sign is, did Taka? No, Taka! Taka still failed to get a point. We're now on round 16. Come on, Taka. You're better than this. So a quick look at the championship standings. We have pulled in 17 points towards Zarco. And we lost points to Marco Bezzecchi. So we're going to have to hurry up. But yeah, compared to the KTMs, we're still doing a grand job. And there's Taka. No points to his name now, 482 points. You would probably assume his championship challenge is over. And I'd say what is over? Today's video. So guys, thanks for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. I really did enjoy making this video for you. It was very wild. But yeah, I'll see you in the next video tomorrow at the usual time of 2 PM GMT. And I'll see you then. So guys, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.